Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tonic, and welcome to the Nintendo Time Machine, where we're going back in time to go through a whole year of things that happened for Nintendo. And this first live stream of this time machine is going to focus on the year 1998. And the reason I chose 1998 is not because this was a year that was memorable to me necessarily for Nintendo stuff, although now that I've went through all this and learned or went back and refreshed my memory of everything that happened in 1998 for Nintendo, there was a lot of stuff that I do remember now that I got a chance to go through this. But for me, it was a pretty important year. I graduated high school. I started college, got my first job, got my first car. It was a big year for me too, personally. So it's just pretty crazy how my big year lined up with Nintendo's big year. Oh, just got a notification from UPS saying that my package is not going to come until tomorrow. Whatever, UPS, whatever. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's going to be quite fun. We're starting off in what we're doing. I've actually found a website. It's called NintendoFandom.com, and they have a good breakdown of the whole year for Nintendo. They put it down in a timeline form. And the first thing we're going to talk about is January 1st. January 1st, 1998, a game called Wrecking Crew 98 released on the Super Nintendo, which was a celebration of the 13th anniversary of the original game that came out in 1985 called Wrecking Crew. I personally have never heard of this game before, and for good reason. Wrecking Crew 98 never came out in the United States or Europe. It only released in Japan. And the goal of the game is to destroy panels, but you don't just destroy panels, you have to destroy more panels than your opponent. And this game does give you an opponent to go against. Sort of like it's got a side-by-side screen, kind of like Tetris. And I played it a little bit yesterday because Nintendo made it available on the Nintendo Switch Super Nintendo Classics Collection. And I believe they done this, I don't know, a year or two ago. I'm not exactly sure when. Oh, actually, I am sure when. It's April 2024. So a year and a half ago, they put this out on the Super Nintendo. So to take you back in time to 1998, let's switch over to the Switch and let's try this game out. Let's see what y'all think about it because, come on. There you go. Had to get my screen up here. It's a game. What's all I'm going to tell you? It's a game. It's all I can describe it as because it's okay. It's okay. I didn't really understand what I was doing. Now, the cool thing with this is they do give you access to the old version from 1985 and the Wrecking Crew 98 version. So we're going to go, of course, to the Wrecking Crew 98. I just got to figure out how to play this game, how to win. Because it's sort of like Super Mario World where you have a map. And I don't know what the Japanese words here are. But you have a map and you go through the map. And you have different opponents representing each spot on the map. Let's go ahead and skip that. Let's get straight to the gameplay. That's what we're here for. So here we go. We got our first opponent, this guy. Don't ask me what he's up to. He just talks some mad trash to us. That is not good. He actually kind of looks like one of the Among Us characters. Maybe Among Us copied this guy. I don't know. Ethan! Me! My guy, welcome to the stream. How you doing, bro? Welcome to the Nintendo Time Machine. We're traveling back to 1998. This game here is called Wrecking Crew 98. It only released in Japan back in 1998. And they put it out on Nintendo Switch Online from April 2024. Now I have no idea what I'm doing. This is kind of like a Tetris style game, I guess you'd say. And we're going up against this guy. And apparently you can hit these switches. I have no idea what's going on here. I guess that's how I line up the colors. I don't know if I'm cheating or not by pushing the little wheel. But it's pretty fun. It's cute. Again, I have no idea if I'm winning or not. But I'm gonna get these pink ones together. That seems to be doing something. So have you ever tried this game out, Ethan? This is on the Super Nintendo Classics Collection, so you can play it on your Switch 1. But again, I have no clue if I'm doing good or not. Alright, I cleared the board. It said nice. I got a mushroom. Now I don't know what... This is the part where I don't really know what's going on. I cleared the board. And now I'm twirling the things. This game didn't release in the United States. It only released in Japan on January 1st, 1998. But I'm glad that it was actually available on the Switch Online so we can actually play it while we talk about it. So right now I'm just waiting on these new blocks. So let me smash them and see what colors we have here. Alright, we got another guy here. We got a good variation of colors. Alright, maybe this was a pink one. Yeah, it was a pink one. 2, 2, 2, 2. What does this mean? 1. What? I don't know what's going on. Because this game is also it's in Japanese, so it's hard to really determine what's going on here. Alright, let's block this one maybe? I don't really know which ones I'm unlocking there. Another blue. We don't want the blue. Give me this one. Maybe it's a pink one. Pink, pink, pink. No, it's green. Alright, how about pink right here? Give me pink! Yeah, it's like another kind of Tetris type of game. But at the same time, I'm really not sure what's going on. Right now, I'm just trying to match some colors up. I've got a mushroom up there. I don't know what I can do. I'm not sure what the mushroom means. Woohoo! I just got another mushroom. Oh, wait. Oh, I just sent a thing over to attack his thing. I don't know. Uh-oh, we're getting some permanent blocks here. Man, I don't know. That guy over there, he's been busy. He's like hammering away. And I'm sitting there like waiting on blocks to show up. Getting impatient, really. Not understanding what the heck I'm doing. I can see where if you knew how to play it, this was probably pretty fun. A person that knows the rules and all the strategy behind it would probably be pretty good at this. That would be my guess. So how's your day been, Ethan? How's everything going, bro? I sure hope it's been going good. Uh-oh. I lost! I have no idea how I lost. I mean, as far as I know how I lost, I mean, my things was stacked too high, apparently. Oh, no, look, Mario's defeated. He's got a headache. This is not Crash Bandicoot Warped. It is not. And no, we're not going to continue this. This has been Wrecking Crew 98 Sage. We are going through the Nintendo Time Machine today, and we're exploring the year 1998. And this year was important because I graduated high school, I got my first job, I started college, got my first car. I did a lot of things in 1998. And so did Nintendo, as you're about to see. This game came out January 1st in Japan, Wrecking Crew 98. It's a sequel to the game The Wrecking Crew that came out in 1985, which I did not knew existed either. So I'm learning something today, and so are you. And you can play this on your Switch 1 on your Super Nintendo collection if you have Nintendo Switch Online. You can play this Wrecking Crew on your Super Nintendo Classics collection. So that's our first one. That's January 1st, 1998. They came out the gate in Japan with that, which is interesting to say the least. But well, yeah, we're not going to stay on that though. We're going to keep going. We got to go to the next topic, which is going to be, this is a cool thing. We're about to watch a video. This video is called 3 New Ways to Bring It. 3 New Ways to Bring It. This is the 6th promotional videotape ever put out by Nintendo. And it is notably the first tape in the series to not use any live action footage, instead playing out more like an extended commercial for the games spotlighted. In this case, the tape focuses on 3 sports games released for Nintendo 64 in 1998. Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr., 1080 snowboarding, and Kobe Bryant and NBA courtside. In keeping with the sports theme of the video, the montage of other titles featured at the end of the tape focuses entirely on sports games. Welcome to the stream, Barefoot Gremlin. Great to see you, bro. And I remember these. I remember these sports games, but the one that stands out in this list that I have in front of me here is WCW versus NWO World Tour. Oh yeah, great game. It is such a great game. I keep a copy on my shelf. WCW versus NWO World Tour, baby. That is amazing. This is a fantastic Nintendo 64 game. I love it. It's one of the best wrestling games I've ever played. It's just the controls. THQ did a great job with the controls on these games. It just made it so fun to play. So yeah, pretty pumped that I have a copy of that. One of these days I'll play it on a Nintendo 64, maybe, at some point. So anyway, the video we have for you, we'll watch a little bit of it. This is just a taste. Now, this videotape was put out, and it was shared via Toys R Us. You could go to Toys R Us and buy this tape for free. Yeah, they would ring it up, but it was free. So this is before I started working for Toys R Us, though. This came out a year before I started working for Toys R Us. So I didn't get a chance to grab this. I sure would have grabbed it. I would have had one of these if I could have grabbed one. All right, so y'all ready for this VHS tape from 1998? This came out in, let's see, February of 98. This is February of 98. So enjoy this video. Just remember, this is a highlight of sports games for the Nintendo 64. Barefoot, what's going on, bro? You okay? You don't like the Nintendo Time Machine?
Okay, listen up, sports fans. Time to
Mostly lurking. All right, that's fine. Just stick around, hang out with me.
Most epic sports
Experience 1998 through Nintendo, which is really fun.
Warning, this is no TV show.
This is commercials for all the sports games that were coming out on the 64.
Check this out. You ready to pack it with Kobe Bryant? Slide your
Kobe
past Junior. Rip some big air in the half.
I used to play that NBA courtside.
Or maybe you're ready to go
game.
head to head with 1, 2, or 3 of your best friends.
Kobe Bryant NBA courtside. I had that game. Kobe. 'Cause I'm a big fan of Kobe Bryant.
Well, all right. Show us your mad skills.
I've been a huge
But this
Lakers
is big
fan for a
time.
long
You
time.
better represent.
Although I switched over to the Warriors
Then step
until
into
LeBron moved to
Nintendo
Lakers.
Sports. Only on N64.
I don't like the Lakers with LeBron. I just don't like it. It just don't feel right. It doesn't feel right. But I do like the Warriors. I like how they play. See, the Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, the best one is on Super Nintendo.
Top of the first.
This is a pretty cool video, though.
Wakefield's delivery. Swung on and hits it deep.
Oh, he hits it hard.
On the target,
Oh, that's a great hit.
Extra bases. He fires to Garcia Parra, and Edgar's on.
This kind of videotape I know would have been fun to have back then because you didn't have YouTube and all that to watch clips of video games and highlight, get to learn about these games way before they come out. This is something if you went to Toys R Us and happen to see it, you'd be like, oh, I need that. I got to have it.
The strike zone. Curveball swung on, and the camera tracks it
Griffey
deep to
just
center
drove
field.
that out
And
of the
Junior
park.
sends that ball to Harvard Square. Check out that real-time 3D action.
I wonder if that's the
Another
actual
home run for Griffey
commentating
and
from the
another home
game.
run for Nintendo Sports. You know this game has every major league stadium.
Because that
up-to-the-minute
would have been
major league
quite
stats
fun.
and actual major league players. Expansion
I never
teams,
played
too.
this game
All
on the
rendered in
Nintendo
stunningly
64.
realistic.
It actually
fully
looks
interactive
pretty
3D
good for the
with
64.
true-to-life gestures digitized from the actual players. Day games, night games, home and away jerseys, home run derbies. Is there anything
One of
those
the
folks
features
at
is home and
Nintendo
away
haven't thought
jerseys.
of? Unbelievable. And if you've ever dreamt of being a big wig team owner,
So this is them
truly
hyping up the
game
new
for you.
games coming out.
Start a draft, make trades, build your own fantasy team for an entire season.
Oh, Sandy Alomar Jr. I ain't heard that name
The
in a
game
while.
tracks all your stats right inside the
That's-
cartridge.
See, the Ken Griffey Jr. baseball
Major League
games on
Baseball
Super Nintendo
featuring
didn't
Ken
have
Griffey Jr. is
the
one to watch
players'
this May.
names. They had to
It's
give them
only
fake
on
names. They had the
N64.
rights to have the teams, but they didn't have the rights to have the players' names.
Now all the pros know.
And
if you
looks
wanna
like
play
by the
large,
Nintendo
you gotta play
64
with the
era,
best.
they were able to secure licensing for
You
the
gotta
player
have
names.
the gear, and nobody's got better goods than N64. N64's innovative game controller.
I don't know
put
about
the
you guys, but I gotta
funk
buy
in
me one of these
functional.
N64s. It sounds pretty
Its
sweet.
analog control stick follows every move you make. Real moves, real time. You are in the game.
This was hype as
Notice the
hype
four
could
ports
get back
right
in the
front?
day.
That's right. One system, 4 players.
Oh,
No
corner
excuses.
3, baby.
And Nintendo's exclusive
I love a
Rumble
corner
Pack truly
3.
kicks
It's very satisfying.
your butt if you plant.
Especially when you're shooting the
Your
ball
opponents
yourself.
if you
It's very
jam.
satisfying, mate. Satisfying, mate.
This is N64.
Yeah, now I did play this
Extreme,
game.
Nintend's brand new
It is,
1080 snowboarding.
Very fun
1080
game.
snowboarding was crafted by the
1080
same twisted
snowboarding.
geniuses who brought us Wave Race. And believe it, once again, those madmen have delivered. Attention, attention. Laws of physics do apply here. Whether you're cruising some crazy
Good
fluff,
physics
treading
engine.
on ice,
They're promoting the
or planting
physics
your
engine
face
on
in the
their game.
banks.
You don't want
It
to
takes
you don't
some
want to
wicked
crash.
skills to balance each character's center of gravity.
Oh, Kumon,
Whoa,
don't
now
even
that's just sick.
get me started on the analog system.
As quick as you can say compound fracture, you'll
I had
find
mine
yourself
pre-ordered
driving down
for,
acres of radical incline.
since
This is
October, I
where
had
you
mine
find
pre-ordered.
out what you're really made of.
And after they canceled it in July, I just had enough.
Take on
I'm like,
all comers
okay.
in the two-player versus mode.
Give me my $300.
Whether you're a
I got a
war-torn
refund.
veteran knuckle dragger or a rookie who's
I'm just
never
gonna wait
even
till they
seen
put 'em out
snowflake,
and
let alone some
They're
fat
supposedly
cow.
releasing it
1080
again.
snowboarding will
They're
grab you by the
supposedly
shorts with
releasing
the
it
most
this month.
realistic, most
It's already the
adrenaline-pumping,
13th, and they have not shipped
fear-inducing
them out yet.
snowboarding adventure ever.
I've been tracking it on
It's here this
Reddit,
April.
on the
Only
analog
on Nintendo Sports.
subreddit.
Deal with it.
It's not out yet. It's supposed to be this
Ready
month.
for
Now, they have
more?
released a controller, so that's a good sign, though.
Welcome
The
to
8-bit
Kobe
Dude
Bryant
64
in
controller
NBA
is out.
courtside.
You can get
You're in
that
the
for
pros
$40
now,
on
baby.
Amazon.
This game takes its name seriously.
How you doing tonight,
Now you
Kumon?
can get
Thanks for
as close to
joining
the action
tonight.
as you
Appreciate
wanna
you
be.
being here.
Maybe even
Be sure y'all hit
closer.
that like button tonight, guys.
This
Even if
game
you're
is
lurking
legit.
out there, don't
All
forget
the
to click
mad
like.
moves, all the ballers, all
Does help out
power
the
of
stream,
real
helps out the
thing.
channel, helps me
Detailed
get
3D
some good
graphics
sleep at
and
night.
smooth,
So I can count
real-time,
those likes up.
real-life play controls.
They're showing a lot of the
Pivots to
same clips on
post-ups,
this.
alley-oops to rim-rocking dunks. Go on, grab a controller and take it to
Well,
the
thank
rack.
you.
With up to 4 players at once. Face off with your
Hey,
friends.
just hang around for a
or
while.
join
Give me
forces
5 minutes. I'll
against the world's
probably
greatest
pronounce
players.
it wrong later.
All right, sports fans.
But yeah,
we're
this
coming
game
to
I
you
did
live
play
from
NBA
Seattle
courtside.
with Nintendo's Kobe
Kobe
Bryant,
Bryant.
in NBA
Kobe!
courtside. The house is rocking. Everybody's hyped up over
Of
the
course,
amazing
just give the ball to
lifelike
Kobe
action.
and it's go time.
Check out Kobe's sweet
Yeah,
spin move.
just give it to Kobe.
He dishes to Fox.
No,
Back
get
to
the ball
Kobe.
back. Don't let Rick Fox
Kobe
have the
backs
ball.
down, Peyton in the lane.
There you go. Oh, it's
Finds
over.
Campbell. Then he'll
Nope.
look back to Kobe.
Kobe!
Hi-ya!
Hey, Kobe!
Denham catches the
Bryant!
lob pass from Peyton. Hershey sets a pick. He sees Baker. Baker
Oh, he
drives
actually.
baseline.
I would like to see that commercial.
Let's see that reverse pack on instant
8-bit
replay.
dude.
Check out those moves.
You know me,
The
Kumong,
amazing
I always
camera
want to
angles,
pronounce things
The detail in
correctly.
those real-time 3D graphics. You can almost look Kobe right in
Kobe.
the eye. Kobe Bryant in NBA courtside.
Yeah, that was a cool
Crashing
box,
the boards
too.
this April. It's the best basketball
Coming out
game
April
in the business,
1998.
and you'll
This was
only
released in
find it here
February of
on Nintendo
1998.
Sports.
This video. You can pick this video up at Toys R Us.
And if you think that's all, here's the update.
You can buy it
Nintendo
at Toys
Sports
R
has
Us
a
for
whole
free.
slew
If
of
they had a
powerhouse
copy, you
titles
just had
you'll
them.
be aching to
You just
kick
take
with
it to the
this
register
season.
and they would scan it, and it was free. It didn't cost you anything, but you still had to scan it. It's funny if you took one without scanning it, you would have been accused of stealing it. Now this game, I was just showing. I got the WCW versus NWO World Tour. Boom, baby! That is a fantastic game. God, it's the best wrestling game ever. I'm telling you, it's so fun. So I do want to get one of the new analog systems, the analog 3D, but I've waited so long for that pre-order. I'm just kind of scorned about that. This is a fun video. I'm glad we're watching this. This is just cool. Another baseball game. Didn't look that fun. Madden. See, they just sizzle reeled Madden. Think about that. Madden, the most popular football game in the planet,
You've
just
seen
got
it here
sizzle reeled
first.
on
The
a
most action, the
a
most
promotional
excitement,
video in
the most
1998.
exhilarating, spine-shattering, most authentic
Oh, yeah,
sports
Madden's coming out at some
experience
point.
anywhere. It's all here.
Kobe!
And it's only on Nintendo Sports with gameplay so
Kobe's
real.
all-time great. I love him. One of my
it
favorite
damn
players
near
ever.
hurts.
Probably my favorite player is Kobe Bryant.
Get into the game for the biggest selection of
There you
games
go,
and
Toys R
accessories for
Us.
Nintendo 64. There's only one place to go.
Only
Toys
one.
R Us, your video game headquarters.
Oh, Toys R Us, you screwed up so bad. You had the freaking bull by the horns, Toys R Us. You had them. And what did you do? You had to go bankrupt. You had to close down. I miss Toys R Us. I love that store. I love it. It's like, it's one of the things I'm looking forward to when eventually I visit Canada. So I get to go inside of a Toys R Us again. It's going to be a priority to do that. Because I don't want to grow up, Kunmong. I want to be a Toys R Us kid. All right, so that is that video. That, again, is the promotional video. Came out in 1998, February. So Nintendo coming out the gate hot in February. Then in February 21st, 1998, they did a thing. They did a thing called the Game Boy Camera. The Game Boy Camera. This Game Boy Camera, it came out on February 21st. It was larger than a regular cartridge because it had camera on it. After taking the picture, you could print it out on the Game Boy printer, and it had 7 different colors of the Game Boy camera. They had 7 different colors, and they had a gold one that was for the Ocarina of Time release. I would go to Neverland, Kunmong. I would go there. When it first released, Guinness World Records recognized the Game Boy camera as the smallest digital camera in the world. Of course, I'm sure that has been surpassed by much smaller digital cameras. And you actually could play games on this. I didn't know this. I never bought the Game Boy camera. You have a ball mini game. It's the remake of the first Game & Watch game, Ball. You take 4 pictures of your face, and during the duration of the game, the face of the character will alternate between the 4 pictures you took. In order to play ball, you are required to shoot the spaceship with a B, stands for ball, on it in the game Space Fever. Okay, then. There was a DJ game, and it was, in this game, you create a tune by pressing the select button in the D-pad. After you created your song, it could then be heard on the main menu of the game. And you could also alter the DJ's face for whatever reason. It had a guy face and a girl face. Then there was Space Fever 2, is the successor to the 1979 arcade video game Space Fever. Of course, Nintendo created that. You access the... You could get to Ball and DJ through Space Fever 2. Interesting. And then there's a game called Run, Run, Run. In this game, you'll race against a groundhog and a bird. The mole is usually faster than the bird, but sometimes this isn't the case. So, Kumo, did you have a Game Boy camera? I never had a Game Boy camera. I really, now I kind of wish I did. I didn't know it had games on it. And apparently the Game Boy camera has cameos. Mario, Zelda, and the Pokemon characters pop up on the game at certain points. And then there's Rob the Robot, some arcade games, and Game & Watch titles. They list these out here. Mario. So there's Mario costumes. There's Donkey Kong Jr. with the Snapjaw, the Snapjaw enemy. The Ouija figurines. The Pokemon series, it had Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Pikachu, Meowth, and Mew. Legend of Zelda, there was some Ocarina of Time stamps with Navi, the Triforce. You could put Hylian ears on your face or whatever. You could put Zelda's eyes on your face. They had Ganondorf, and then there's a Hylian shield. So lots of cool stuff on that. And they had 7 colors of the Game Boy camera. It was yellow, red, blue, green, teal, and violet. Then there was a gold one for the Ocarina of Time release, which was a special edition. Probably used the OG Game Boy once out of curiosity, then promptly put it aside as I couldn't take the LCD screen. Oh, yeah, the screen on that one was drab, I guess you could say. But it still was pretty cool at the time. And the Nintendo's always been pretty smart when it comes to that kind of thing because, yes, the screen wasn't the best, but it was playable, and the batteries didn't run out quite as fast as, say, the Sega Game Gear would. The Sega Game Gear, man, the batteries on them things didn't last any time at all. It was junk. It was very disappointing playing the Game Gear, putting a few of those big... I think it took C batteries or D batteries, one of the two. And them suckers would drain, I'm talking, in no time. Probably 30, 40 minutes, and the batteries would be gone. And then you could connect... There was a Nintendo 64 DD that could connect to the Game Boy camera, and there was a game on there called Mario Artist Paint Studio, Mario Artist Talent Studio, and SimCity 64 could all use the camera. It was reviewed on Nintendo Power. The Game Boy camera got 83%. Not many people reviewed the game when it was released, and Nintendo Power is one of the few to rate it. So, yeah, the Game Boy camera's cool, though. I mean, I think it's pretty neat. But that came out in February 21st, 1998. So, February, they weren't too busy. They put out that video we just watched. Yes, Sage, yes. C or D batteries in the Sega Game Gear. It was awful. It was a big old clunky thing. The screen was good for the time. Don't get me wrong. It was color screen. It looked cool. You could play Mortal Kombat, and it had blood and stuff, which was a big deal back then. because Nintendo's version only had sweat. You know, they changed it to a gray sweat color instead of blood, which is ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. But the Game Gear version, the Game Gear itself was a battery drainer, is all it was. Just we'll see how fast we can drain these batteries. Matter of fact, let me double check. Let's just get the official battery. Let's see. You could get a rechargeable battery for it for the Game Gear. All right, so I don't think I guess I'm remembering wrong. It's actually 6 AA batteries, Sage. 6 AA batteries. Maybe I'm thinking of something else with the big C batteries. But it only lasted 4 hours. On 6 AA batteries, it only lasted 4 hours. I remember it lasting much less time. But then again, that's 30 years ago, so my memory may not be the best on that one. So yeah, 6 AA batteries, only 3 hours. That is awful. You definitely would need a rechargeable battery pack purchase on that. Well, this wouldn't make any sense. All right, the next game in 1998 was released. In North America, it was Wario Land 2. It came out on March the 9th, 2000. Why am I saying 2000? March 9th, 1998 is when Wario Land 2 came out. I looked to see if this was on the Switch. It's not on the Switch yet. They didn't release this on the Game Boy Classics yet. I think 3 and 4 is the only 2 on the list, as far as I could tell. But this came out on Game Boy and Game Boy Color, 1998. Stars Wario as a platforming video game. It was initially released on the Game Boy in 98 and re-released on the Game Boy Color with color enhancements. So I'm not sure when that happened. The Game Boy Color. We'll have to find out. Probably not 1998, though. The primary antagonist of the video game is Captain Syrup, who would later go on to appear in the Wii title Wario Land Shake It. It is the first game to feature Wario's current appearance, consisting of yellow short-sleeved shirt and purple overalls. It is also the first Wario Land game where Wario wears his normal plumber cap instead of a hunter-esque hat and can take on many reactions as opposed to changing hats from the first 2 games. So this is interesting. This is where Wario got his current identity. This is exactly what he looks like today, which is our favorite Wario identity. We like this Wario. He's much more expressive. He doesn't change hats, and he's got his purple overalls and yellow shirt. So this is where Wario Land 2 is where that came from, which is pretty cool. Matter of fact, you can also see where the Game Boy Color case is right there. They have a picture of that too. Game Boy Color and then Game Boy. Pretty interesting that they put that in red on the Game Boy, and then Game Boy Color they gave it like a nice prism type of feel to it. Pretty cool. And of course, Wario Land is a side-scrolling platformer. It's different from traditional Mario games. Wario has unlimited health. Absolutely nothing can kill him. Rather, when he gets attacked, he'll lose a certain amount of his coins. Being attacked by particular enemies can also be a blessing for the gluttonous thief, as it'll sometimes give him powers. For example, if an enemy engulfs Wario in flames, then Wario, while madly running around the stage on fire, can break through blocks that can only be broken by hot objects. When crushed and flattened, Wario can move over large gaps while crawling, and when bitten by a bat, he'll be given the ability to fly. Wario also retains traditional moves as well, such as a charging attack and a ground pound. So that's cool that he gets coins and he takes damage, he loses coins. It's sort of like what they do these days with the Mario games, or even like Donkey Kong Bonanza. When you get hurt, you don't lose a life, you lose coins, or you lose coins, or you lose Banandium gems in Donkey Kong. So maybe that's where they first developed that gameplay mechanic. That's interesting. See, I'm learning stuff here too. I wasn't a Wario fan back then. I liked Wario. I thought he was cool, but he wasn't my guy yet. He became my buddy whenever Mario Kart 64 got big, and of course he was also in Mario Party, which is where we really bonded. Me and Wario bonded hard over some Mario Party. I played many hours of Mario Party. As aforementioned, Wario will be able to gain powers by coming into contact with enemy or an obstacle. And there was a bouncy Wario, a bubble Wario, an odd Wario, a fat Wario, which I thought he already was, flame Wario, flat Wario, puffy Wario, zombie Wario, and tiny Wario. And there's also an unlockable game on here. Flagman DD is an unlockable game. It's basically a remake of the classic Game & Watch video game Flagman, though features some reused graphics from the Game Boy game Game Watch gallery. So there you go. Wario Land 2 brought in some innovation to Nintendo. That's pretty cool. And that was when Wario got his final form, what he looks like still today. Pretty cool. All right, the next game that was released on March the 10th, on Mario Day, was Yoshi's Story 64. Yoshi's Story 64 came out March the 10th, which is Mario Day in 1998. And now it's just known as Yoshi's Story. I believe it was called Yoshi's Story 64 back then. It came out in 97 in Japan, but it didn't release until 1998 in the United States and Europe. And it's the first Yoshi platformer not featuring Mario. While the exact time the game takes place is unknown, it is expected that it takes place after the events of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island DS, and Yoshi's New Island. So I never did play Yoshi's Story either. I didn't play it. I've never been a big fan of Yoshi. Like, not that I dislike Yoshi. I just never was like a Yoshi. Oh, a new Yoshi game. I got to have that game. I didn't get into it. I haven't ever played any of the Yoshi-centric games. I played Super Mario World 2 for a while, but I never even finished that game, even though it is a great game. There's something about just being focused on Yoshi that just did not connect with me. And then it had several levels, but there's not a lot to talk about in this game, as the critics found the game too easy and short. You could beat the game in a few hours. Ouch. Considered by many to be an improvement was the ability to aim your shots instead of the random targeting in the first game. So if you can only beat this game in a few hours, I mean, I'm sure this game cost, let's see, Yoshi Story 64 game. MSRP in. Let's see how much they sold this game for out the gate. If I can find that. Yeah, so this game, well, from what I'm seeing here, it was $60 upon release. $60. So this game was $60. And it took you just a few hours to beat. Like, we're talking 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, I understand. That is a legitimate criticism. That is a very legitimate criticism. All right, and then our next thing that happened in 98, March 26th, Wario Land 2, which we just talked about, was released in Europe for the Game Boy. So it came out 17 days later in Europe for some reason. Now, here's another one that's pretty cool. Kirby of the Stars 3. Kirby of the Stars 3, or actually it's called Kirby's Dream Land 3, as you may know it, was released for the Super Famicom in Japan. Yes, Super Famicom, baby. It is Kirby's 5th platformer game for the Super Nintendo. Dang. Like Kirby's Dream Land 2, for the Game Boy, Kirby's animal friends could help him out during the game, and more were added since then. Much like the ability mixing system in Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Well, I'll tell you what, let's find out. Let's find out what Kirby's Dream Land was all about. Because I believe we can play that right here. Let's go, Kirby's Dream Land 3. Let's give it a shot. I've never played this game before. This is the special version of whatever's going on. Let's see what Kirby Dream Land 3 was all about. Oh wait, level 6. Start. Oh, hope this isn't so far into the game. Alright, let's go level 1. Grassland. So Kirby games have been hot tickets for a long time. Oh. Let's play the first one. Alright, I'm jumping. Sucking stuff in. Come here, guy. Come here, guy. Here we go, y'all. Kirby Dream Land 3. I love it. This is an excellent game. I'm already doing pretty good here. Go! Snipes! You see me snipe that guy? It was sick. Oh, we can't go in there with something in our mouth. Oh, look at the kitty meow. Yeah. What? What did those do? I don't know what I'm doing, but here we go. Guess I'm taking the kitty with me. Alright, come on, kitty. I will rescue you. Oh, there we go. My guy's helping me there. Don't get hurt back there, bro. Come on. We gotta live. You gotta protect the kitty at all costs. Oh, missed. Ah! This is not bad. This is pretty fun. Of course, this is your traditional Kirby game. You know, side-scroller. Get him, guy. Get him. The little blue dude's awesome. What's his name? Who's Kirby fan when you need him? Come on. Oh! Me and this kitty are going to make it. We're going to survive. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, kitty. Get going, baby. Oh, what? Yeah, got my friend all caught up in it. Oh, that's cool. It pulled him in. Get out of here. I hope I'm doing the right thing with this kitty. I'm not supposed to take him some other weird place or something. The cat is very large. It doesn't look like he should fit in the door, but it does. Flower, come here. How do I get him inside? How do I keep sucking him up? How long is this level? How far do I have to take this kid? Whoa, it's visible time. No. Destroy. Must destroy. I'm confused how long this level is. How long is that level? I think we made it. We did something. Oh, we got the one up. What a jump. Okay. Kitty's going with me, I suppose. Hey, it's a witch. Hey, witch. Can we kill the witch? Oh, we can kill the witch. Oh. Witch is not our friend. She's not a friendly witch. Oh, you can double jump. You can. You don't get to suck the witch in. You can always suck the broomstick. Oh, so I'm beginning to wonder if I'm even supposed to hurt the witch. Like maybe the witch is innocent. I don't know. And I'm beginning to think now the witches are bad. The witches are bad. We don't want to be their friends. They're not our friends. They just want to do witchy things to us. This is Dreamland 3. Dreamland 2 was on the Game Boy, which I did not know. See, this is a great thing about doing these streams. I didn't know these things. I didn't know all the exact details of Kirby here. Guys, what's going on? I guess I can take a new friend. Who wants to go? Who wants to go? Alright, I got this. The cat did not look happy that I left it. Oh no. The cat was not pleased with that. Oh, that's cool. Watch this little creature here just grabs them with their. I guess it's an octopus? I wonder what. It looks like the cat helped us run faster. And this one helps us grab stuff quicker. It has a special ability. Where's this guy? Is he tied up or is he wearing a shirt? I can't tell. Well, whatever we did, we made him happy. Let's try. Can I tote? Nope, can't do anything with him. Okay. But we did something. So he's happy. Big smile on their face. Gotta leave him with a smile. We're eating the little caterpillar guy. If that's what you would call that. I don't even know what you call that. It looks like caterpillar, but it stands up. Get in here. Whoa, that hedgehog's running fast. Oh! Hey, that dude's nasty. He's got that nasty spike on his head. Go, Kirby, go! Yeah, I kind of like this creature, this little squid octopus creature. Does a good job grabbing the enemies. Has good reach too. I just don't understand what the blue guy's up to. He's just kind of cruising along with us. Ooh, we got stars above our door. One up! We made him happy. He gave us a one up. Alright, we're at the end. Whee. Oh, I got the strawberry. I missed the one up. Although I haven't died yet, so it don't really matter. Alright, cool. Well, that's Kirby's Dream Land 3, guys. That's pretty cool. Came out. Oops. That came out in 1998 in March, what is it? March 27th, 1998. Kirby came out for the it came out in Japan on March 27th. It did not come out in the United States yet. All right, next one on the list is... Oh, I forgot to change that over to Kirby's Dream Land for y'all to see. But yeah, Kirby's Dream Land 3 is what we just played. And then this one, this next thing that happened is in April the 16th. Guy, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Your name gets longer every time I see you, dude. Every time I see you. How's everything going, Guy? I hope you've been doing well, sir. Welcome to the Nintendo Time Machine. We're checking out the year 1998, all the happenings. I am using a website called nintendo.fandom.com, and they have a great timeline of events that happened in 1998. They have a good timeline for all the years for Nintendo. They're pretty handy dandy. Oh, we're doing some manual labor tonight. What are you? What kind of things are you loading? Is it top secret stuff, or is it furniture? Watermelons? I don't know. What could it be? Boxes. That was that would have been my next guess. So yeah, April 16th, 1998, the Pokemon animation series returned from a 4-month hiatus. Oh, you're borrowing somebody's phone right now? You borrowed their phone just where you could jump in and hang out in the Nintendo Time Machine. The Nintendo Time Machine is a good place to hang out. So yeah, the Pokemon series returned in 1998 after a 4-month hiatus. Everybody, I'm sure, was excited because Pokemon series actually ran most of the year without too many interruptions, but this particular time, they had a 4-month absence, which I'm sure Pokemon fans were very anxious to get back to the show. But that's an interesting tidbit. April 16th, 1998, it returned. So that was cool. All right, so the next thing, the hiatus was because of the Electric Soldier Porygon episode. Oh, okay. Did it take them some time to develop that episode? What happened there? Was there like some story they were waiting for to come out before they could do that? This next thing's pretty cool. We're going to be watching a video. It is called Banjo-Kazooie, The New Adventure Begins. Seizure incident happened. Oh, somebody watched the show and had a seizure. Gotcha. Well, that is good. I'm glad you're here, guys. I wouldn't have known that. It didn't say that in the timeline. They should have mentioned that. Because it didn't. What I read about the series is it ran pretty much all year long, all the time, for just with a few breaks here and there, and then boom, 4-month hiatus. It didn't really mention why. So there you go. So this next thing is Banjo-Kazooie, The New Adventure Begins. This is another promotional videotape that they released through Toys R Us. You could buy it for free at Toys R Us. Oh, they never showed it anywhere else. So can you? I'm sure you had to download it, right? So this is another Toys R Us promotional video. This one's about Banjo-Kazooie. You could buy it at Toys R Us, but it was free. All you had to do was take it up to the register and just ring it up, and it was free. So this video, it has no live action footage of the game. It just consists of, I don't know what they mean, no live action. What? No. Consists almost entirely of gameplay footage with narration from John Lovitz. So this is going to be interesting. Oh, okay, so you can still get to it. The video, they didn't try to ban it or anything. They just never aired it past that because of the situation. It makes sense, you know. You want to be sure you're being safe. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so let's take a look at this video here. And this video is on a YouTube channel called DK Vine. So shout out to DK Vine for this video. Thank you for putting it online. So this is Banjo-Kazooie before it came out. Now this is a promotional video hyping up Banjo-Kazooie before it came out. Of course, this is a fantastic game.
First, there was Donkey and Diddy Kong. Then Diddy and Dixie, Dixie and Kitty, Mario and Yoshi. Okay, you get the point. So what's the big deal?
John
Well,
Lovitz is
listen
the
up,
narrator.
because
though.
there's a new
That's crazy.
dynamic duo from the creators of Donkey Kong Country and GoldenEye that's ready to kick some serious excitement into Nintendo 64. It's Banjo-Kazooie, the coolest headbanging, beak-busting, sky-flying,
This is a great
rock-hopping,
game, man.
ape-shooting,
It's so fun.
tag-teaming duo in a new game with so many thrills, chills, spells, and splats, you won't be able to put it down. So
That
what's
evil
the story?
witch.
Here's the deal. Tootie, Banjo's little sister, has
Kidnapped
been kidnapped by the
Tootie.
very ugly and evil witch Gruntilda, who has snatched Tootie because she's just too beautiful. Seems Witchy Poo's got this plan to suck the beauty out of Tootie with this super
Is it
duper
gonna-
wart smoothing thing.
Can we save Tootie in time?
To herself. Yeah, right. Anyhow, Banjo and Kazooie's mission is to travel through 9 mysterious worlds within Gruntilda's lair, uncover secret
I wanna
moves,
play through this
battle
game
evil,
again.
and collect puzzle pieces and a whole bunch of other things that will help you help them bring Tootie home.
I'm going to play through this
Puzzled?
game again, guys.
See, each
Gonna
world has
happen.
10 puzzle pieces hidden somewhere within it. These pieces
Said there was
fit
an
into
English
jigsaw
dub.
puzzles
Oh,
hanging
that'd
around
be
Gruntilda's
nice
lair.
if they did
Once
put an
you
English
insert the
dub
pieces
out
into
for
a
it.
particular jigsaw, then and only then can you advance to another world. Pretty easy, huh? Don't count on
Yes,
it.
this is one of the
Luckily, in their
best
battle against evil,
3D
our heroes can get
platformers
help from a number
ever.
of different
Just a
characters,
fantastic
like
game.
Mumbo Jumbo, whose magical powers can turn Banjo and Kazooie into all kinds of creatures that help them do things that
Bajo,
go
he's
places
speaking
they couldn't
Spanish to me
before.
over there.
Then there's
Couldn't
Bottles the Mole.
Bajo
This buck-toothed shrew
Kazooie.
is full of secrets to help you learn new moves and get out of trouble. Plus, there's all kinds of collectible objects like music notes. Collect enough of these, and you can move freely around Gruntilda's lair. Or Jinjo.
It's okay.
Find
It's
5
just a,
of these
it's
cute
just a
little whatevers in
live
each
stream
world, and
chat.
you get a
Come on,
puzzle
nobody's
piece.
grading papers here,
Don't
bro.
forget
You're
to stock
good.
up on eggs for ammunition.
I definitely
These
understood
will
what you
allow
were
you
talking
to
about.
defeat and ward off enemies. Plus, there are golden banjo statuettes. Good for a free life.
Gotta get
Red
the free
feathers
life.
to help you fly. Golden
Gotta get the
feathers to make you
feathers.
invincible. And honeycomb pieces help you store up energy. You'll
That
need
took
all these
typing.
things and more where you're headed because Banjo and Kazooie.
All right, so this video is cool. It's a super cool video. It is. It's great. It's fantastic. But just watching a video of Banjo-Kazooie, that's just not good enough for me. It's not good enough for me, good mom. We got to play the real deal. That's a cool video, though. Check it out. Just search for it online. You can get it on YouTube. And watch the whole thing. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm going to play some Banjo-Kazooie for a minute. Just get back into it. By the way, don't worry. We don't have to go through all the story bits. Got to. Just got to hit the button here. Yeah, I've already saved it at a place where we just started off in the first world. Get off of me. Quit hurting me, man. Banjo-Kazooie, baby. I ain't played through this game in so long. Gotta collect all the notes. Ah! Oh, got him, baby. How do I do this? I'm supposed to... There it is. That's the ticket. Oh, that's right. He gives me health when I need it. I shouldn't have took that yet. That's how I do high school. Don't sigh. It's okay. Don't stress yourself over it. Oh, I gotta go collect that guy. Look at him. Look at him over there. This game is so good. Gotta get all the notes. This is a game I'm gonna play through again, just because it is a fantastic game. Oh, now, I will say this, it was hard to do the swimming parts. There is some things about this game they could have done a little better, but we give them a pass because this was, you know, the early years of 3D games. So it can't be too bad. We can't give them too much trouble. Oh, go up. We gotta get some air, bro. We gotta get some air. Alright, let's go back down there. We gotta collect all the notes. There it is. Might as well get them while we're here, right? Okay. Bloop, 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 bloop. Swim up, dude. Alright, so far so good. We're doing good. So, how long has it been since y'all played through Banjo-Kazooie? This game definitely gives you some whiplash. Oh, hit the wrong button. Got him. Had a reason to hate Ultra HLE. Well, I played it on the 64. I'm a traditionalist. Plus, emulating 64 games has never been the best ease of use, I guess you could say. Well, I haven't played too many 64 games on emulators. I have played other Nintendo games on emulators quite a bit, not 64 games. You must search for 10 of us on each world. We'll help you progress through the witch's lair. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Moly Mole. Alright, we got our first puzzle piece there. Alright, somebody's whistling at me. Oh! This console copier. Yeah, we're not gonna call this real name, are we? Hey, buddy. Alright, I got the second one of those guys. Wee-hee. I forgot what they give you, but they give you something. Oh, there's something in there I didn't get. Eggs. Where the eggs, Kazooie can learn to use us as ammo. Oh, that's right. But I do like that they have a place where you can lock on your camera. Oh, Mumbo's Token. Yeah, this is Mumbo's Mound. Is the name of the area. Jinjo, that's the name of it. Jinjo. Yeah. So yeah, Banjo-Kazooie is awesome. That's a proven fact. Banjo-Kazooie is... Oh, how did I miss that one? Whoa, hey. Oh, come on. No. No. Uh-oh, what? I hit the wrong button. You got Congo's orange, put it back. I took his orange. How you mad? Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to put it in a little thing, right? Don't touch Congo's blocks. Don't do it. Am I supposed to make him hit these blocks or something? Yeah. That's what it is. He's got to hit the block. How do you do the bird walk? They didn't teach me that in the tutorial part. They did not go over that. Alright, I got him an orange. Chimpy like Congo's orange. Chimpy help Fat Bear and Bird. Woohoo! Man, dominating this game. Yeah, I think you do. I think you have to learn it. Because he did not teach us that in the tutorial portion. Oh, I need to go over here. I love that freaking move, baby. The jump. Sexy. Oh, look, who's our guy? Look, we got the Moly Mole. He's gonna teach us something. Time for the buzzard to learn the ancient ways of the egg. Listening to Beetle Breath. I love their interactions. Hold Z, then press the top C button to shoot an egg out of your mouth. Hey, sounds cool. Anything else? Sure, press the bottom C button instead and you can shoot them out from behind. Sheesh, sounds painful. I wish I'd never asked. Bird Brain can carry 100 eggs in her backpack. Oh, and you can also use the control stick to aim while you are crouching. Exciting, huh? Now that you've learned to use the eggs, here's 50 to practice with. Your energy's a little low. I'll fill it up for you. Yay! Thank you. Mo's so nice to us. Good. Oompa oompa. Inkum onkum. That's what I'm saying. No. What? How did I fall? How did I fall, Kunmon? What in the world, game? Come on now. Alright, thank you. Oh. What? So yeah, the controls are a little funky, but it's still fun. I don't care. It's still fun. That is one of the things about this game, the controls are a little... Oh, come on. Like Banjo's a little slippery, you know what I mean? He slides around a little bit. Kind of thing you gotta be patient with, because in modern games you don't have to worry about that, but in these older games you gotta think about that. You gotta wait. Let your camera get adjusted into it. Oh, whoa. What am I supposed to do with this? I think I'm supposed to I don't think I can do the butt dive yet, though. really sure if I was supposed to shoot that guy or not, but didn't do anything though. Oh, I bet this is where I shoot him. Oh my! See that? He just slid right off. Just slid right off of it. Alright. Oh. I gotta hit the right button. Well, it's not really doing anything. He's just throwing an orange at me. Hit. Oh! Okay, never mind. It's just killing me. It's not doing me any good. Yeah, I wish I did have the bird leg move. You're right. Come on, that would be exactly what we need to get back up there. Let's just get away from old dude. He's violent. He's scary. What? Oh, jeez. I don't think I can kill him. This is a fantastic game. Good old 1998. Quite a year for the Nintendo releases. They released a lot of heavy hitters. Or at least a lot of heavy hitters came out on it. I know they didn't particularly release this. They partnered with Rare, of course. Whatever, come on. Alright, we'll just save it here. Well, we'll learn that later. I've had enough Banjo-Kazooie for now. Lee is in the house. What's up, Lee? How you doing tonight, dude? Welcome to the Nintendo Time Machine, bro. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining me. We just went over Banjo-Kazooie. I'm glad you're doing well, sir. We just talked about Banjo-Kazooie, The New Adventure Begins. It's a promotional video that you could get at Toys R Us for free back in 98. Believe this was May of 1998. You could get this at your local Toys R Us to check out everything you need to know about the Banjo-Kazooie. This is basically directs before directs, these videos. June 29th is when it came out, correct. But Banjo-Kazooie, The New Adventure Begins promotional video came out in May. Getting people hyped up for Banjo-Kazooie 2 release. All right, so the next thing on our timeline here for 1998 in the world of Nintendo is a game called Super Famicom Wars. Of course, this is not released here. It you had to play this on that Satellaview service they had in Japan, where it was basically you connected to a satellite service, and you could only play it for so long while the service was live. We didn't have that here, of course. They did release it through a Nintendo Power cartridge, though, that had all the maps and everything on it. Super Famicom Wars. So it was and it was never released over here in America or Europe. This is just a thing that you should know. It was released on May the 1st, 1998. And on May the 10th, 1998, Yoshi's Story was released in Europe. And then May 11th, Yoshi's Story was released in Australia. And May 15th, Wario Land 2 was released in Australia. So a lot of releases coming for other regions in May. And Wrecking Crew 98 was re-released for the Super Famicom in Japan for some reason. They released it January the 1st, and then they re-released it on May 23rd. I don't know why. And then in June, the Game Boy Camera, which we talked about earlier, came out in North America and in Europe. And then, of course, June 29th, Banjo-Kazooie was released, as Lee already mentioned. Banjo-Kazooie released in the United States on June 29th. Big time release there for Banjo-Kazooie, as we just got through playing it. I will have to sit down and play through that game again. It's a super fun game. And then on July 17th, they released Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo 64 in Europe. So Europe got it a couple weeks later. Then the next big thing that Nintendo did in 1998 was on July 18th, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, came out. I'd never seen that movie, but it was a big deal. First movie. It's the first movie of the Pokemon series. It debuted in Japan in July 18th. And it was shown, Mewtwo Strikes Back was shown with the Pikachu short, Pikachu's Vacation. So that's interesting. So that was a big deal. Although I didn't really know much about Pokemon back then. I was pretty clueless on Pokemon until I started working at Toys R Us in 99. So I wasn't too much aware of it. Right, we're talking about 98, Lee. Yeah, we're talking about 98 right now. Yeah, 1998. Nintendo's Time Machine, 1998. That's why we're focused on 1998. So it released in Japan on July 18th. And then they released a sneak peek at Pokemon, another videotape via Toys R Us. I located this one, but there is some music on it that will get your channel some copyright issues, so I decided not to play the video for the Pokemon sneak peek VHS tape. It is on YouTube if you want to see it. But from what I read some stuff about this, and there's a song on there that is pretty heavily copyrighted, and I'm not going to take a chance with that. So we're not going to play that, but you can check it out. You could have, back in 98, you could have went to Toys R Us and picked this tape up. It's 13 minutes long. Again, these were the directs, or basically like, you know how they did a direct for Donkey Kong Bonanza to do an overview of the game. This is basically what these are. I did watch the first movie. Rightly, you're correct. It did. Again, we're talking about 1998 right now, so it only released in Japan in 1998. It came out here later, as you have stated. This right here, again, this is a promotional video that you could watch, and it was promoting the releases of Pokemon Red and Blue. And it was also hyping up the premiere of the Pokemon television anime series in the United States because it had not released here yet. But again, there's some music in this video that is not friendly to, wouldn't be a good stream-friendly song to play, so we're not going to play that video. But pretty cool. Pretty cool that, I love those kind of things. I wish I could have got hold of them VHS tapes. You know, if I could go back in time, I would get those. I would get those tapes. And this next one was something I never watched this. This was the Donkey Kong Country animated series, debuted on Fox Family on August 15th. Oh, Guy, you have that VHS tape? That's awesome, dude. That is a cool thing to have. That is a super cool. That's probably decently rare. I'm sure there's lots of them out there, but still decently rare that if you have one that functions, especially. Excuse me there. Excuse me. I had a little sneeze attack. So I don't remember this Donkey Kong Country CGI animated series. Do any of you remember this? It came out in France in 96. They dubbed it in English and brought it to the United States. And it came out in the United States on August the 15th, 1998. Right. I was just talking about Lee, that's what I was talking about is that sneak peek at Pokemon. This right here that was on the screen. See this? It's called a sneak peek at Pokemon. It's a promotional VHS tape you could get at Toys R Us in August of 1998. You could pick this up at Toys R Us for free. You did have to ring it up, though. You'd had to go to the register and ring it up. And Lee, you should look through and see because this is a promotional video. It's kind of like an overview direct, like they did for Donkey Kong Bonanza, like they did for Mario Kart World, like they're probably going to do for Metroid Prime 4, among other games. I think they'll definitely do one for Kirby Air Riders. Super Samuel, welcome to the stream, my brother. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us for the Time Machine, the Nintendo Time Machine. We're already in August of 98. We're kind of cruising right along here. Sammy the Super. Oh yeah, I haven't watched a VHS tape in probably around the same time because I got my first DVD player once I got my first job. I bought a TV that had a DVD player in it. It was a Magnavox, very cool TV. And I bought it at Circuit City. It was pretty cool. And let's see. Yeah, so VHS tapes are pretty rare these days. Some of them. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, obviously being a promotional freebie at Toys R Us. But again, I was thinking there's probably not many functional copies out there. So, guy, you have one. That's pretty neat. If you think you might have one, Lee, that's a good thing to go find. See if you have that. Land Before Time. Oh, man, there's what, 8? How many of those movies did they make? 8 or 9 of them? No, you didn't work at Circuit City, Kumon. Don't tell me that. Which department did you work in? I worked for Circuit City for a brief amount of time, for about 6 months myself. And I sold computers, of course. Hey, Kumon, we sold computers, bro. We are Circuit City brothers. How about that? How about that? That's pretty cool. Was you good at selling those extended warranties? I was okay at it. I sold a few. They didn't try to fire me or anything, so that was good. But I took a part-time job there for a little while. I worked at Toys R Us for a majority of the time between 99 and 2010, but I did have some jobs in there too, like Circuit City, Taco Bell, things like that. Kun Mong, you were no good at warranties. That's fine. I sold a bunch of them on the computers. I felt bad for people when they agreed to buy them, though. It was I felt really shady, but also that's what they wanted me to do. So I'm the kind of guy, like, you hire me, I won't try to trick people, though. I'll tell them the straight facts. I'm not trying to trick anybody. Anyway, Circuit City was quite the experience. Oh, dude, the computer sales, it was really fun back then. I think I worked there around 2002 was when I worked at Circuit City. Talking about my junior year in high school because that's when I was in 11th grade in 98. Oh, okay, Lee. So that was my senior year. I graduated high school in 98. Started college in the fall of 98 and got my first job. I worked at the bookstore at the college, and then I also got my first car that year too. You have a windbreaker the Hitachi rep gave you? Awesome. I forget. I had some swag from there. I can't remember exactly what I had. It's all gone by now. And the old Circuit City polos, the red polos. I liked those polos. But yeah, I stayed my whole time. I didn't skip anything. I just stayed in there the whole time. High school was. I don't have bad memories of high school. I enjoyed the whole thing. I liked the classes. I liked the teachers. My classmates they're fine. I don't talk to. I really don't talk to any of them anymore. I graduated with 55 people. Not that I don't like some of them or anything. It's just I just don't talk to them. But that's a long time ago at this point. Almost 30 years now. Jeez. You had blazer jackets, nice. I had polos. 2002, they had switched us to red. We wore red polos, and we sold. I want to say we sold HP computers a lot. It was HP by then, Hewlett Packard. Yeah, Circuit City had polos in 2002 is when I worked there. We had red polos we had to wear. So you was working there a little bit before I had to work. You worked there before they switched to the polos, I guess. But that's what they did to us. We had red polos, had Circuit City logo. So yes, this is what we were talking about. The sneak peek at Pokemon. You could get this at Toys R Us. Pretty cool. Donkey Kong Country TV series. I'm going to have to look this up and check it out. I don't know anything about this. I don't remember. It came out in France originally, and then it started airing in the United States in 98. And it says 40 episodes. Only 40 episodes were produced of this show, so that's interesting. My teacher tried to get me to work at his store while I was in school. What store did she try to get you, or your teacher? I guess I said she, but your teacher, what store? Did I have any 12-hour shifts? Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I worked a lot there. I was a pretty good salesman. I sold a lot of computers. They liked me there. My boss's name was, I think, Anita. Her name was Anita. She was pretty chill. She didn't give me any hard times, but I sold the warranties. I did a good job selling the warranties, so she was usually pretty happy with me. Especially digital cameras. Digital cameras is where I sold most of my warranties. Computers, man, warranties were expensive, man. They had like $500 on top of the computer purchase. That was insane. It was ridiculous, really. But the digital cameras were they were still a couple $100 for the digital cameras. But that's back when digital cameras were hot. They were big back then, in 2002. She never asked if I wanted to do what she was trying to force me into. Right, digital cameras. I worked at Circuit City in 2002, 2003, in that area. I don't remember. It could have been 2003, but it was 2002, 2003 in that area. And we had digital cameras. Digital cameras were just starting to get hot. They were very popular. Software, etc. I remember seeing a software, etc. in the past. I just don't remember much about them. Also remember Babbage's. Babbage's was the first GameStop type store I ever been in. And then of course GameStop bought Babbage's, and that's when in the mall where I lived, they became GameStop. But it was basically the same thing. Babbage's was a cleaner looking store. It wasn't so cluttered. It was very very clean. What am I trying to say? Minimal. Babbage's was a minimal. They had a minimal amount of things. It was all clean and nice, so you could tell what they had in there right as you walked in. You didn't have to search through a whole bunch of stuff like you would do at GameStop. Bought my first CD player from Circuit City, then bicycled the 5 miles back with the bot. Nice, Coonbog. Was in your school? and I was your classmate, I would have said you were lucky that you graduated in 98, but now I wish it would have went fast. Well, yeah, I know everybody has different experiences in high school, and I know some people didn't have the greatest experiences, so I understand some people having like, I'm ready to go, right? I'm done with this. 100% understand it, and it's legitimate feeling. Me personally, I liked it. I did. I was played I was a basketball player. I loved basketball. I was in the band. I loved the band. Uh, I enjoyed the teachers. I enjoyed the class. I don't know. I just enjoyed the experience. I just didn't mind being there. Me personally, I wasn't like Mr. Popularity either. I was kind of just in the middle. I wasn't, you know, nobody tried to pick on me too much, but I also wasn't like the class favorite or anything. You bought a laser disc, Kunmon. Why did you buy a laser disc, bro? Come on, we got to judge you on this. We got to judge you on that, bro. 90s with the first consumer digital camera, the Dicam Model 1 being released in 1990. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know the history of digital cameras, guy, and that's a good tidbit of information you gave us there. That's pretty cool. I just know the ones I sold at Circuit City were pretty much what you would think of today. If you said digital camera, you would think of it. And a lot of us, if you're not too old like us, Super Sam, you probably never dealt with a digital camera. You may have maybe found one laying around or something. Because we have them in our phones now. This is our digital camera. Digital cameras, I'm sure you can still get them. You still can get them. They still have digital cameras, but they're more professional cameras than they are like, just a camera to have to shoot some pictures with. Like what they used to be. They were just some fun pictures. They do selfies, and now they've got much fancier, much more higher priced ones. I'm sure you can still get a digital camera, but most people aren't buying them, I'm sure. Your phone, this has just as good of a camera as some of your lower end digital cameras, and probably some of your mid range digital cameras. This probably has just as good of a camera as those. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on cameras to say that it fits in with the top of the line, but I'm pretty confident that's not true. Man, Kunmong, the laser discs were never cool. I'm sorry, bro. I hate to bust your bubble. Laser discs were never cool. I even knew laser discs weren't cool. Nobody I ever knew had a laser disc. Nobody. I kept seeing that they would say it's on VHS and laser disc, and I'm like, what's a laser disc? I seen one in person like later on in life, while of course they were ancient artifacts by then. By the time I got a hold of one and just got to play with it, and I was like, I'd much rather have a VHS back then. Of course, I'm just teasing, Kuma. I'm just teasing, bro. Just teasing. But anyway, Donkey Kong Country. I never watched this cartoon. It's 40 episodes. I don't know. It came out August 15th, 1998. Next thing on the list, September 7th. Again, Pokemon the series debuted in the United States. September 7th, 1998. Its premiere in the United States for all to see. Pretty big deal there. I know plenty of Pokemon fans that this is a big influence for them. Now, this series is a big influence on Pokemon fans to this day. I mean United States. Like this is probably a big jumping off point for a lot of people in the United States for Pokemon. Not saying people didn't know Pokemon before this. I'm just saying that this was a big deal. It got to a lot more people this way. And there you go, Kumon. And that's just hence you not being able to pay the bill. It's okay. It's memories to think back on. Absolutely, guy. Absolutely. Pokemon series, when it released in the United States, was a big deal. Because by the time I started working at Toys R Us in March of 99, Pokemon was like, people were coming in. I need Pokemon. I need this Pokemon. I want all the Pokemon. And we started doing a Pokemon League, and they chose me to run the league on Saturday mornings. We hosted it from like 9 to 12, and kids would come up and battle each other, and we had special cards and pins and things that the kids could get, and it was really fun. I liked it because I didn't have to really do much work. I was just setting up the Pokemon tables and then just hanging out with people playing Pokemon and learning about it. And I was 18, 19 years old. Actually, I was 19 years old. And I had no interest in playing Pokemon, but I did have a lot of fun interacting with people who were playing it. It was pretty fun. I was the Pokemon gym leader. Well, it's smelling like rubber fire or something. Ethan B, welcome back. The internet went blah. I'm so sorry, bro. But thank you for joining back in with us. We are talking about Pokemon, the animated series. Debuted on September 7th, 1998. Again, huge influence on Pokemon today in the United States. Pokemon, this was a big jumping off point for its popularity here. All right, September 12th. In Japan, they released, September 12th, 98, of course, they released a Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition. And this is a remake of the multi-million selling Game Boy game, Pokemon Red and Blue. They put out a special yellow version. This is in Japan. And you started with Pikachu, and your rival started with Eevee. And this was, I believe, inspired the Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu series on the Switch 1. I believe this is the game they remade, and it was inspired by this. And, of course, Pikachu follows you around throughout the game instead of just carrying them in a Pokeball. Well, yeah, but a lot of people love Pokemon games. The ones I have played, I have enjoyed. I'll say that. I have defeated Leaf Green is the first one I ever played. I played Leaf Green. I beat that one. Really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And then I played, I want to say Sword or Shield. I don't think I finished it, though. And then we played through Violet. Did I go Scarlet or Violet? I can't remember. Anyway, Scarlet Violet, I played through that and defeated the first. I never went back and played the DLC, but I did enjoy the game. It was fun. It might be something to go back to now that Switch 2's out and that they've updated the game for better performance. I'll have to maybe replay those games down the road. Got Red, Blue, and Yellow new when it was first released. Yeah, Lee, you were on top of the Pokemon. Red and Blue, where a bus driver was trying to get all Pokemon in the bus, and he used a crossword to cross the bus into a Game Boy. Huh? I think you have a mistype there, Leo. That one, I don't know exactly what you're saying. So yeah, this is a big deal. It's a pretty cool. The yellow version special Pikachu, pretty neat. September 28th. Now, this is a big deal right here. Pokemon Red and Blue released in the United States of America. So they put out the Pokemon cartoon. 3 weeks later to the day, they put out the game. And that, of course, is very smart because now the kids are chomping at the bit to play through their favorite animated series on their Game Boys, the Red and Blue version of Pokemon. This is the first time Pokemon games had ever been released outside of Japan. That is insane. He used a crusher to crush the bus into a Game Boy. Oh, okay. So he put the Pokemon in the bus, then he crushed the bus into the Game Boy to get them into the game. That's an interesting way to crush them, to catch them all. If you got to catch them all, crush them all, right? Hank Ketchum, creator of Dennis the Menace. Oh, wait, here we go. Let me catch up your comment here, Kumong. Not being a Pokemon fan, I just now learned Ash's last name is Ketchum, named after a certain comic author. And this is where a guy gives you some history here. Chosen for the English version of the Pokemon character, originally named Satoshi in Japan after the franchise's creator, Satoshi. Ash is an anglicized form of Satoshi, while Ketchum plays on the franchise's motto, gotta catch 'em all. Yeah, catch 'em. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. Yeah, quite a big deal here. Red and Blue being released. This was the beginning. 1998 was the beginning of the Pokemon chaos that has taken over the United States since then. This was a big deal. The animated series came out, and then boom, the games on Game Boy 3 weeks later. The first one to be released inside the United States, huge. Yeah, these games sold. They sold like gangbusters. It was crazy. And of course, they did do remakes of this game. They did the Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Game Boy Advance, which again is Leaf Green is the one I played. My very first Pokemon game to ever beat. Again, I've only played a couple Pokemon games. I haven't played a lot of them. I have to be in a special mood to play Pokemon, I have to admit. I got to get myself hyped up, or I just had something hypes me up about it. I'm like, yeah, we're going to play that. We're going to play that Pokemon game. Bus driver in Pokemon commercial was the ghost in Disney's Halloween Town. Interesting tidbit. Ash is no longer on anime. Yes, that's truly. His story has finally ended after how many years? How many years did it take him to end his story? Original version of Pokemon Green only released in the US. Okay, got you. Then they put a Pokemon Red and Blue with the yellow special Pikachu edition. They re-released them worldwide on the Nintendo eShop for the 3DS on February 27th, 2016. All three games were ported with little changes, except they added the 3DS wireless abilities to trade. They were only $10 a piece, too. That's a pretty good price. Oh, you mean Japan. Okay, gotcha. Well, that makes sense. That makes more sense that they make it a Japan exclusive. Nintendo takes care of their people in Japan. They believe in being loyal to their home country, and of course their home country fans are huge supporters. So it makes a lot of sense for Nintendo to do good things for them like that. All right, so our next item, that was big, that was huge. So think about it. Already in 1998, Banjo-Kazooie was released in America. Yoshi's Story was released, which is people like that game. And Wario Land 2 came out in the United States. Now they got the Pokemon animated series and Pokemon Red and Blue, which is huge. And then on October 21st, the Game Boy Color released in Japan on October 21st. And it came out with Wario Land 2 Game Boy Color Edition. So not only do we have Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon everywhere, now we have Game Boy Color hitting the scene. That's a pretty big deal. We all know about the Game Boy Color. Super awesome system. I believe I had this exact purple translucent system right here. I had this one. What color of Game Boy Color did y'all have? Do you remember? Leaf was the girl protagonist from what I call. I don't remember, guy. You have to look that up for me. I don't remember exactly. I played Leaf Green. I don't remember the protagonist. I wish I could. I don't remember exactly who it was. So, yeah, the Game Boy Color came out in 98. It was the successor to the Game Boy. So, another big, huge release in Nintendo to play the Game Boy Color. So, that's pretty huge. And then on November 21st, a game called Zaruda no Densetsu Toki no Ocarina, or aka The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, was released on November 21st in Japan. Holy smokes. That's massive. Just the best Zelda game ever made in a lot of people's eyes was released in Japan. Nintendo was very busy in 98. Ain't that something? That's some big releases in 98. This is like a huge year for Nintendo. So Ocarina of Time hit the scene. And of course, we don't have to say much about Ocarina of Time. Just give it its props. One of the best Zelda games of all time. No joke. And nobody can argue that it's at least top 3. Most people are going to put it number 1, which I can't argue with them. I would never argue with anyone that puts it number 1. It's number 2 for me only because I like Link to the Past. Also, Wind Waker, I have considered putting it above Ocarina of Time, just because I like the animation stuff better, and I think it's similar gameplay. I just happen to enjoy the Wind Waker's art style and the animation. But again, no hate to Ocarina of Time, of course. So, Ethan, you missed playing the Game Boy Color? Yeah, it was a cool system, and I like the size of it and everything, and just very nice system, very nice. And then on November 23rd, 1998, they released The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in North America. So North America got it 2 days later, which, who knows why. But 2 days later in North America, Ocarina of Time was out. So just in time for the holiday season, just in time for Black Friday sales, holiday sales, people were going to get Ocarina of Time for Christmas. That's a huge release. Then they released The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX in North America for the Game Boy Color on December 1st. Of course, Ocarina of Time. Link's Awakening DX on December 1st. Pretty nice. That's a pretty nice release there. Again, just in time for holiday season for people to get it on their Game Boy Colors. And it had an exclusive dungeon called the Color Dungeon. You could only play that on the Game Boy Color. It was an extra dungeon playable by using a code from the library to move certain tombstones in the cemetery to open the new area. This new area introduced 3 new mini-bosses, many new enemies, many new puzzles, and a new boss, the giant hard hat beetle. At the end of the dungeon, instead of adding a new item to the inventory, Link is instead given the choice between a blue tunic that reduces damage to half the normal amount and the red tunic that allows Link to do double damage to enemies. Leaf was the female Pokemon trainer in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Okay. Thank you, Guy. I appreciate you checking that. I wasn't sure about that. You didn't like the Game Boy because of the lack of a backlight. Yeah, you had to have a lot of devices to play your original Game Boys. You had to have the light on it. But it was still amazing. I mean, it had great battery life. And, I mean, Tetris. If you had Tetris on Game Boy, you were winning. If you had Dr. Mario on Game Boy, you were winning. Those games were just amazing. Just fun games to play while your parents drive you somewhere. It was very nice, the Game Boy. I loved it. Yeah. Nintendo always knows what you're doing in handhelds. See, Nintendo will sacrifice a fancy feature to give you better functionality, better battery life, those things. It's like the same thing you see with the Switch 2. People complain that they didn't put an OLED screen on the Switch 2. But it's like, for one, that would have added $200 to the cost because to make the size screen with all the features they wanted for the OLED, it would have cost way too much. And then it also would have been harder to maintain the battery life. So this thing's only got about 2 hours, 2 to 4 hour battery life on it anyway. So Nintendo will sacrifice some things to make sure it functions and stay powered, stays charged and that kind of thing. They've always done that. So it's nice to know that they've always been consistent in that area. All right, so we had a Link's Awakening DX with some special features for the Game Boy Color, which is nice. Banjo-Kazooie was released on December the 6th in Japan. Banjo-Kazooie released in Japan on December the 6th. So there was a, 5-month exclusive North America release for that, maybe 6 months. Yeah, people said that. I heard a lot of people say Sega Game Gear was the better one, but its battery life was trash. And you're talking about 6 batteries lasted 4 hours. 6 AA batteries was 4 hours. That's it. That's terrible. That's a big cost. So you're talking about burning 6 AA batteries in 4 hours. I don't care how you shake that. That's too much. That's way too much money. That cost a lot of moolah to battery. You had to buy the battery pack for that to rechargeable. You had to get a rechargeable for the Game Gear. The Game Gear was fine though. I'm not hating on the Game Gear functionality wise. It played good. It was fun. You could play Mortal Kombat in color on the go. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool. But it did have it had some big flaws. And then on December 11th, 98, Ocarina of Time was released in Europe. December 12th, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX was released in Japan for the Game Boy Color. Which, again, is a big deal. Link's Awakening DX was, 11 days after the release in the United States. So, for some reason, they switched that up from time to time. Who knows why. But by the 12th of December, Japan had theirs. And then another huge game released at the end of 98. Another huge game. It released in Japan, 1998. That was Mario Party. Mario Party came out in Japan in 1998. December 18th, 1998. That was a huge release. Mario Party, and I'm not sure when it released in the United States. It might tell us here. But 98, it was only in Japan. Oh, yeah. So this is the one thing I would like to talk about on Mario Party. This is funny. Nintendo gave away a free Mario Party glove for a time after the game's release. The reason being that many players got blisters and other ailments on the palms of their hands due to the mini games that involve spinning the stick around as fast as possible, which are Tug of War, Paddle Battle, and Pedal Power. This is also commonly thought to be the reason Mario Party wasn't released on the Virtual Console, but Mario Party 2 was. Nintendo suggested that the players should use the thumb to spin the control stick, but this method is a lot slower than rotating with the palm of the hand, and the thumb can slip off the joystick. So we all know what you're talking about here. Well, this is Lee, this is the Nintendo Time Machine, but we will talk about more things in the future. This is a series I would like to keep going with on Wednesdays. I just want to do stuff like this, kind of give a good timeline of a year of Nintendo. And if we get through all the Nintendo things we feel is relevant, then we could definitely do some Sega ones, things of that nature, like we want to do with our tier lists and stuff, right? So just hang in there, Lee. Stick with me, baby. Stick with me. We're going to do these things. We're going to talk about all these things. But each one of these will be contained to that year. So, like, for instance, Mario Party didn't release in the United States until 99. So when we talk about 1999 for Nintendo, we'll bring that up and talk about it for a little bit. But we all know about the blisters on the hands. We all did it. If you played Mario Party, you know what this is. You hold the controller and you spin that joystick, baby. That's why a lot of the older controllers, if you find them for Nintendo 64, are wore out. The joysticks are always wore out on them. And it's Mario Party's fault. Although I think it's funny that Nintendo took some heat on that. They took a lot of heat on that game. Yeah, Tug of War was tough, Lee. But at the same time, I mean, Nintendo never thought that people would do that. It just wasn't something they even thought of. But they forget how hyper competitive people are. I guarantee that's just a huge lesson learned for Nintendo at that point. It's pretty funny though. It's pretty funny. People were wearing their hands out. I had a blister on my hand from it. I was a victim. I didn't know you could get a glove. See, I never heard of that. I never heard of that until I've researched it over the last several months. And I was like, man, they gave away a Mario Party glove? Dang. I would have loved to have had that glove. That would have been cool. So, yeah, it's a shame. And finally, I will tell you this. The characters debuts, Nintendo character debuts. From Banjo-Kazooie, you had Kazooie, Gruntilda, Winky Bunyan, Bottles the Mo, and Tootie. And, of course, Banjo. And then you had Todd Snap from Pokemon the series. You had Todd Snap, Butch, Cassidy, Togepi. Y'all can correct me on that. Togepi. And that was from the Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. No, wait. Don Fan was debuted in the Mewtwo Strikes Back. And Pikachu's Vacation, Marill, and Snubbull debuted. And then from the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Young Link, Sheik, Ganondorf, Navi, Saria, Darunia, Princess Ruto, Rauru, Naburu, and Skull Kid all debuted in the Nintendo universe. And man, there's a long list of games that came out. James Bond. Yeah, the Wayback Machine. Oh, yes. So here's the games that released in North America in 1998. James Bond 007 came out February 9th. I'm just going to list off some notable ones here. I mean, 007, James Bond, yes. One of the best games ever. We talked about Wario Land 2. Castlevania Legends, March 11th, 98. Let's see, what else? Harvest Moon GB came out August of 98. That's a big game. And we talked about Pokemon Blue and Red. Huge titles. The Rugrats movie game came out. Oddworld Adventures came out. Mulan, a game based on Mulan. I didn't even know they made a game based on Mulan. They ported Frogger over to the 64 in August of 98. Oh, wait, sorry. That's the list. That list I was just reading you was for the Game Boy in 1998. Okay, that makes this list totally different. James Bond 007 on Game Boy came out February of 98. Wow. I don't even remember there being a Game Boy version of that game. Huh. Let's look at the 64 list. This will be, oh my God. They got a huge list of games that came out in 98. Let's see. I'll just list some notable ones here. Jeopardy. Yoshi's Story, we talked about it. Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. I believe that game is hard to find. I believe Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut's hard to find. It's a rare game. Quest 64 came out in 1998. You know, not everybody's favorite game, but it's got a pretty good fan base. Big people, a lot of fans like that game. Mortal Kombat 4 came out. Of course, Banjo-Kazooie. These are all Nintendo 64 titles, by the way. Cruising the World. Cruising the World came out. That is an excellent game. Cruising the world. Yeah. Internet Archive Wayback Machines are pretty cool, but sometimes slow to load the sites. Yeah, I'm using NintendoFandom.com. If you can see, this is it. Nintendo Fandom, Nintendo Wiki. Pretty good. It's got a lot of good information here. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Yes, that's a good game. That came out in 98. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. NBA Jam 99. I love NBA Jam games. Two Rock 2 came out in 98. South Park came out in 98. And then Castlevania 64 came out in 1998. I loved Castlevania 64. It's not the best game, but man, it has some scary moments in it. Let me tell you right now. Was too well steal it or buy it when Blockbuster was done with it. So that's probably why it's pretty rare, Sculptor's Cut. I'm pretty sure that's a collectible one. You used to go through almost the entire Mario encyclopedia. Wow, Ethan. You dug deep, my friend. You love it. That's awesome. The internet is amazing for things like this, man. You know, it'll satisfy that craving for information. But y'all should check this out. Nintendo Wiki. They've got all these timelines for different years. They got all kinds of good information. It's good. It's a good website. I just learned about it myself when I started the idea for this. I was like, I need a place where I can get information, where I won't have to search all over the place for it. You know, I didn't want to have to. I would have done a lot of research and this, that, and whatever. But if I could find somewhere that's already compiled, that's even better. And that's what we found here. Boom. Pretty excited. My Retro Life talks about stealing it when he was young by renting it and returning it with the standard edition in the box. Wow. Smart move. Because technically, he didn't do too bad. It wasn't that wrong. That's pretty clever, though. Give him credit for that, Kumon. But, you know, Clay Fighter wasn't the best game from... I wasn't a big fan of Clay Fighter anyway, but it's pretty neat that Blockbuster... That was a different time, ladies and gentlemen. That was a way different time in our lives, in the world. That renting the game was actually the better way to get the game. You were better off renting it than buying it because it was too expensive to buy. Like, these games were like $70, $80 back then. And you could go rent it for $5 for the weekend, you know. And if you're if you're a big time gamer, not true gamer, but if you're a big time gamer, you're gonna play through that game over the weekend. You're gonna focus on it. Do you miss Blockbuster, Ethan? Okay. I don't miss Blockbuster personally. I think it's fun. I miss it in the way that it's nostalgic, right? I don't miss it for the functionality. I much prefer today's age. Like, I want to watch this movie. I can play it. I pretty much can get it and play it right away. I don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to go hoping they have it. I don't have to call every video store around. Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Can you hold it for me? Can you do all that? I don't miss any of that. That was it sucks when you're like, I want to see this movie or I want to play this game. You finally get your parents to take you to the store. You run in there, nothing. They got nothing. But I understand what you're saying, Ethan B. I do. It was kind of like a rush, right? Like, you would go in there and you were hoping to find the movie, right? You would even have like a couple in mind. You always had your top pick. When you run in there and it's like brand new movie too, just came out on VHS. None of your friends have seen it yet. You run in there, boom, they had a copy. You got the last copy. Woo! Let's get some Reese's Pieces and some popcorn. Let's get this baby home. It's time to watch this movie. Yes, Lee, that's right. GameFly is still similar to that. It's like the original Netflix, GameFly. It's like the original Netflix, but you can get video games. I actually am subscribed to GameFly for now. I've tried a few different games on the Switch. I tried the Hitman game that they put out on Switch 2 via the GameFly. I didn't enjoy it, so I'd never really talked about it. I knew that I probably wasn't going to like it, though. I never have enjoyed the Hitman games, even though I think the concept is super cool. it's a fun concept, being a hitman and all that, and figuring out the ways you have to take out your target and get away with it, that kind of thing. Well, Netflix has become a monster. You know, they have become the thing that they was intended to replace. They were intended to get us off of cable TV. It was meant to be a much more affordable option. You wouldn't have to have cable TV. You had all the stuff you wanted to watch at your fingertips. Like you could rent anything you wanted, and it was a good price. You could order, get it online. They would send it to you in the mail. Then they added the digital content, which at first I even was like, digital? Who cares about that? Streaming. What the heck's that? And after I finally got around to using it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Netflix streaming's cool. I'm with you. And now they're charging $20-something a month to watch it. They're turned into this monster corporation that has to make profit. They have to increase their profits every year. So they ended up doing things that goes against the customers that have helped them get that success in the first place. Netflix has become the thing they tried to replace. They became that thing. They became the cable companies. Oh, no, I'm not saying Netflix shouldn't have stopped DVD rentals at all. I definitely agree with that, Lee. It was a smart move. By the time they got streaming going, you could get the same movies pretty much that they had. You could get the same movies that they offered physically on their digital service. You didn't have to wait for it. It's like, I want to watch it. There it is. And which is great. And see, that's the other thing about Netflix. When it first started, they were the only place you really could do this. Blockbuster did it for a minute. It was like Blockbuster tried to compete with Netflix there for a little while, and they could have. They just weren't. They didn't have good people running their company back then. Blockbuster failed because they were ran into the ground by the leadership. Because the biggering song from the Lorax. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what the Lorax is, Dr. Seuss, but I don't know the song. I'll have to look that up, guy, to get the reference. But see what happens. All these like Netflix had all the shows. They had the shows from NBC, ABC, Fox. They had everything on the one service. They had deals worked out with all these broadcasters, and then they all got greedy. They like, I want my slice of the Netflix pie. I want a bigger slice of what Netflix is getting. I want to do what Netflix is doing, but with just our shows. We're going to pull our shows off of Netflix, and we're going to create our own thing, and we're going to do exactly what they're doing. And then it just started multiplying. Boom, boom, boom. We all seen it. Now, if you want to watch certain things, you got to be on certain services. You can't just Netflix doesn't have everything anymore. Now you got to go. I want to watch The Office. Well, you got to go to Peacock. Or I want to watch South Park. Well, you got to go Paramount Plus. I want to watch The Last of Us. Well, you have HBO Max or whatever. I think they changed it. I think they're changing it back to HBO Plus, or I don't even know what they're calling it. Anyways, HBO something. Then you got everything. If you want to watch something Disney, you got to go to Disney Plus. Like all the Marvel stuff was on Netflix. And then Disney's like, we're going to start our own service. We're pulling all that from Netflix. We're going to do it ourselves. Now Disney Plus and Hulu are merging. It's only going to be Disney Plus. No more Hulu. Hulu's gone. Well, it's fixing to be gone. Hulu will be gone soon. And you will just go through Disney Plus, which I agree with that. Like, yes, merge them. Make it where we don't have to go to 100 different places to watch certain things. It's kind of silly. But so now, if you wanted to get all the services to watch all the shows you want to watch, it's going to cost you more than it would cost you to just go get DirecTV or something. You could just go get DirecTV and just set the DVR to record a lot of these shows now and be better off price-wise. So they kind of turned into the thing that they were meant to replace, and it sucks. Disney made a new streaming service when they already owned Hulu. Well, they didn't own all of Hulu at firstly. There was a partnership. Disney owned some of it. Fox owned some of it. I believe ABC had a piece of it too. And which ABC and Disney, of course, are now the same company. Now, of course, ABC and Fox are the same company. Comcast had a slice of it too. That's right, Kunmong. That's right, NBC. They had a slice of Hulu. So there was a lot of companies involved in that venture to kind of compete with Netflix. That's basically why they started Hulu as a competitor to Netflix. So now all these, they're just greedy. Now the Peacock just raised their prices up to like $17 a month. I've been seeing a lot of people angry with that. I don't subscribe to Peacock because it pissed me off that they pulled The Office off of Netflix and put it on their service behind a paywall. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I would watch The Office. I love The Office, but y'all are milking people dry. It's ridiculous. Wanted to buy Nintendo. I mean, Disney would be smart to want to buy it. Anybody that thinks they could buy Nintendo should try to buy it because Nintendo is a very lucrative IP. They have Nintendo's characters like Mario are more famous than Mickey Mouse across the world. People recognize Mario before they recognize Mickey Mouse. That's how big Nintendo is. Which is what one of these videos I make lately that I do commentary on some things that are happening with people because people are always attacking Nintendo. And again, I'm not saying Nintendo's perfect, and I know Nintendo has done some things that aren't the best for the consumer. I get it. I would never defend them to my death or anything, but there's certain times when the nuance needs to be spoken out about. There needs to be the truth needs to be told, and everybody needs to calm down. It's just everybody's ready to attack Nintendo over any little thing. My job, what I like to do with my videos, is just give it a nuance and give it some background explanation to where people can understand, and not be so angry all the time. Everybody needs to relax. But Nintendo gets a lot of heat because they are that well known. Nintendo is massive. Disney would be ecstatic if Nintendo let them buy them. Disney wouldn't be able to even believe it if Nintendo said yes to that. No. Yeah, Nintendo's not going to be sold. I mean, that's just, yeah, you're right, Kumon. It's too important. All right, Super Samuel, have a good night, dude. I hope you have a great weekend. By the way, we were going to do the tier maker tomorrow, but I ain't going to be able to stream tomorrow night. Got some things going on. So we'll push that one back to next Thursday, which will be the Sega. We're going to do the Sega games that need to come back like we did with the Nintendo games. I will have you guys the link to vote for that by Sunday is my goal, to have all that set up by Sunday anyway. So I won't have a stream tomorrow night. So just in case you were thinking about coming tomorrow, Super Sam. So yeah, everybody needs to relax. Exactly, Ethan. Everybody just is in attack mode. And I just try to point that out in a very level-headed way. That's my goal. I don't want to attack anyone. I'm not trying to attack any specific people necessarily. But sometimes things need to be called out. Like the Wood Hawker guy lying about the Direct. He straight up lied and said he had inside sources. This man is well known to have Nintendo connections. He used that information to trick people. I mean, how many conversations did we have leading up to when the Directs were coming that I know several people mentioned Animal Crossing, Metaphor Refantasio, Pokemon Coliseum. And it was, at the time before I researched it heavily, I didn't know what exactly he had put in there. I just don't pay no attention to him. But once the uproar came about, I was like, let me look into this. And everything people were mentioning to me was the things he said, which made me think, well, dang, this guy had a lot of influence and he tricked a lot of people. it's not cool. That's not cool. I don't care if it's just video games. It's not cool to lie like that. It's just not. We cannot allow that. Oh yeah, and Disney. Look, Disney is a mega corporation. They're not going to do everything. Everything they do is not going to be well liked by everybody. It's just not. It's impossible. They're too big. Nintendo's a worldwide recognizable company. Same thing. They can't do everything they do is not going to be loved by everybody, and there's always going to be people complaining, which I got no issue with. I got no issue with people complaining or sharing their frustrations. There's nothing wrong with that. But when people are straight up lying and giving misinformation, that's what I have a problem with. That's when I make these videos. That's why I make these videos now. I'm like, okay, I understand you're upset and I get it, but you're lying. You're telling false stories, and now you're going to get people who probably wouldn't have been upset if they knew the truth are now upset because they believed your lie. And that's what I have a problem with. It's in the gaming community these days. It's too much misinformation nonsense. But anyway, I've been having fun doing those videos, and I hope if you guys have had a chance to watch them that you've enjoyed them as well. If you lie about a person like you say that person stole something. Yeah, exactly. Saying lies about people is it's dangerous, especially when you do it in such a public way and it's such a widespread way. Like people are paying attention to what you're talking about. Kumong, you have a great night, sir, and have a beautiful weekend. See you on Tuesday next week. We're going to be doing the big list again next Tuesday. Another soundtrack ranking video. I think it's going to be fun. But this is going to be the end for me as well. Lee, appreciate you being here. Guy, thanks for hanging out. Super Samuel, Ethan B, Coonmong, Barefoot, thank you for stopping by for a little bit. I love you guys. Y'all are amazing people, and I really appreciate y'all hanging out and talking to me. And I hope y'all have enjoyed yourselves as well. I'll be back on Tuesday. Y'all have a great weekend. Do not get into too much trouble out there, guys. Get into a little bit of trouble. Not too much, though. Lee, we'll see you later, bro. I appreciate y'all, and I do hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. See you next time. Peace.